Alright, with the folks, bull, Marcus 1225 numbers after the name. Little games beating over here, man. And it's tough to say that a game like FIFA is ever really beaten. I always have issues with these kind of games because it's not really, there's no real like end to it, I guess. It kind of, you can play it forever. But since this one has a story mode, I'll kind of consider it beaten. I'll tell you guys, man, so I haven't played FIFA. I haven't purchased a FIFA, I think, since 14. And I usually take these stints with sports games where I'll play, like, maybe sometimes I have dabbled in back-to-back years. For the most part, I'll skip like at least like 2, maybe even 3 years before I get a sports game. I'm not really that crazy about it. I don't really have the time to play it, unfortunately, as much as I'd like to. So that's kind of part number one. And part number two is I just don't really see the big improvements. I usually try to get one maybe like at the beginning of the generation, and maybe one mid and one late generation. It's kind of where I go with sports games and whatnot. But this year I wanted to get FIFA. They put my man Ronaldo on the cover too, and I was like, all right. Y'all got me. I was like, y'all, I could do that. I could get into that. So FIFA 18, from what I've heard, most people consider this an easier FIFA than in the years past. Like scoring and whatnot comes a little bit easier in this game. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I did play 17 a bit, and it was pretty difficult. But I also enjoy this a lot more than the can we even get to score a goal at some point in our lives version of FIFA. So what we're seeing here is the Journey mode over here. I'm playing as my guy Hunter over here. I brought Greasy onto the Bayern Munich. That's how we roll over here. As part of the storyline, I'm not going to really spoil it for you guys, but you can do a bunch of different stuff, choices and whatnot. I don't know exactly how much the choices necessarily influence things. I never really went back and looked, and I meant to do that. Because there are a couple like story choices that you make, and I was kind of curious as to whether they actually were real choices and not, or just video game choices where they make you seem like they were choices, but they weren't. So I bought the game strictly to play the manager mode. That's kind of how I play. I don't really play online much. I got to take down my boy Roosevelt one of these days when I have a minute, but I don't really play online much. I never dabbled at Ultimate Team until this time around. I'll talk to you guys about that. And the story mode obviously came in last year, and I looked at it and I was like, well, it's neat, but I didn't think I'd actually care about it. And one night when I was like playing it, I was kind of done playing the manager mode. I was like, let's try some of these other features, man. I went to story mode. I didn't expect to get captivated like I was by, like, honestly, like it caught me off guard. Like, I was just gonna play around for like 40 minutes. I think I ended up playing for like 2 hours that night, and I was like, well, this thing's like kind of dope, yo. Like, this is like legit. Like, I enjoyed it. It's goofy, obviously. It's kind of over the top on a lot of things. It's not necessarily realistic as probably like a lot of those things happen, but it's fun and it's entertaining and it's cool and it's something different. Different in a good way, and I was kind of, the actor to me was pretty well acted. The voice narration was all pretty believable. The situations were all right, and I thought it was very well presented, and all the different kind of stuff you could do and the little twists and turns in the storyline were pretty cool. And just the fact that we were doing that all in a soccer game to me was pretty impressive. I was like, this is not why I purchased FIFA. I was like, I'd purchase FIFA for great gameplay, to play soccer with my friends, and that's kind of it. That to me was just like kind of added plus that I was very caught off guard with. So story mode to me, A+. I would definitely play it through, see it to the end. It isn't too long. Like the last chapter, I think kind of is the longest because it's the most time you spend. I guess if you blow all the stuff out, you'll go by pretty quickly. And there even are some sections that are kind of optional. It's like, do you want to like do this? Do you want to play? Well, I'm not gonna spoil anything. But so there are some things that are kind of optional and whatnot, which I chose to do. So I kind of played the maximum you can. And I kind of won out and everything, so I literally played the maximum of time. And if I had to give it a time frame, maybe it was like 10, 12 hours, if that. Maybe, yeah, because you do play, I guess, a good amount of games over here at the end. I don't know. But it's fun. It was entertaining. It was engaging. As long as you kind of like maybe some of the teams that you're dealing with, that's always like a plus. I will say this, though, as a Real Madrid fan, it still left a lot wanting. And if you guys play the story mode, you'll understand what I'm getting at. It was a big tease a little bit over here. And I guess you could play as your own, just as the character. I always play as the team. I've tried in the past when they first kind of introduced my player, like many years ago. I tried playing as just the character, like they said. I did not enjoy that. I don't like the camera angle. I don't really like the gameplay. I didn't even give it a shot this game. I was like, oh, I could play as like the regular FIFA view. Cool, we're gonna play as the regular FIFA view. That's pretty standard for me as to how and when I'm gonna play. And I enjoyed it. I had a really good time with it. You unlock some stuff for Ultimate Team as well through it, so there's a lot involved over here in the story. Your career modes and manager modes, those are all kind of pretty standard. I think the big addition this time around was that you could kind of negotiate contracts and whatnot. I don't really like it. I figured out that you could skip it, and I kind of skip it. It's cool to do it once, you know, as just kind of novelty. But I'm not over here negotiating like huge deals, whatever. I play as Real Madrid, so thankfully money ain't that much of an issue for us, And I kind of I'm like, hey, Carvajal, I want you on the team. I said I want you on the team. I don't really care what y'all want to make. Go ahead. We're just going to make sure we win everything on. I'm currently playing on professional, I believe I had it. For the story, I played it in semi-professional, which is kind of a pathetic, honestly, difficulty, even though I think at the end I bumped it up to professional. So this might be professional at this point. I apologize. I wasn't 100% sure. It might be semi-pro or pro. But I hadn't played FIFA in a while, and I kind of just wanted to get through the story. So I did kind of leave it at that difficulty. What was cool, though, was that the game kind of tells you to, like, bump it up. It's like, hey, you've mastered this. Maybe if you win, like, 2 or 3 games, like 5-0, it's like, hey, you've mastered this, move on. And I felt it was a pretty good progression because currently, like, I've kind of built up to playing in professional. And now I'm winning, you know, like 3-0, 4-0. I'm kind of expecting the game to be like, hey, bump it up to the next thing. To me, it's kind of like I'm just getting reps. I'm getting practicing. And eventually we'll get back on that legendary, which is what I used to play back in the old day, back in the 06 days. You know, we only play legendary, # legends. Since then, though, I've dipped out of FIFA, so I haven't been that good. But I'm working my way back onto the top over here. The other thing that I tried out too was Ultimate Team. It was pretty similar circumstances. You know, I had played a bunch of manager mode, and I was like, hey, you know what, let's try out this Ultimate thing over here. So it's kind of microtransaction heaven from what I've understood, but it's nifty. It's cool. It kind of combines microtransactions with, you know, cards, you know. And, you know, I grew up kind of collecting soccer cards, baseball cards, basketball cards. Those were like the 3 cards that I kind of grew up collecting. I think for kids nowadays, it must seem like asinine. I gotta find out. I gotta find somebody who has like young kids and see like, does anyone even collect cards? I don't even know where you purchase them. I guess I still do see some Topps cards at like a Walmart or something, but I don't even know where you could like get them. I used to get them at the bodega right in the corner, man. You know, get like 50, 60, 70 cents or something like that, and get a little pack of cards, something like that. Get $1, maybe get 2 or 3 packs or whatever it was. Baseball cards back in the day. I still have them too. All nicely set up, man. Maybe one day they'll be worth it. They have like some very rare cards sitting there, man. You gotta go through over there. I got those and got the Pokemon cards. But anyway, the Ultimate Team, you kind of buy these packs or whatever, bronze, silver, gold, with like different types of rarity players, and from different from everywhere, honestly. And you kind of build a team through that, and you have like some base starter packs. You got some guys that you kind of keep on loan. There are some contract stuff that I still haven't gotten to yet, and I'm not 100% sure how it works with you guys. But in the end, what you end up having is you kind of make this makeshift team that you're playing against other makeshift teams from other people, or the CPU. You're kind of working yourself through a little season of the league. You kind of move up and down like these tiers or whatnot. It was pretty tight. It was pretty well done. I didn't really expect there to be as much depth as it was to it. So when I started seeing that there was just a lot of meat on this bone, I kind of tapped out because I wasn't going to invest that much time into it. I was like, I'm still manager first. But I could see where you could kind of pick up this game now, and there's really 3 modes for you to kind of dip your toes in whatever you want, or all of them kind of like, which is what I did. You could just play Ultimate Team. Like, that's literally the only thing you could do. And you could try to keep just max minting your team and trying to get better players and working out contracts and get more FIFA points, I believe they're called, to get better packs or whatnot. That literally could be all you do in FIFA. You could also just play online. The whole time too. I guess it's 4 tiers. You just play online, whether it was with your Ultimate Team or just any team. You just do that the whole time. You could do your manager in your career mode with like either your guy, or you could be a manager and control your favorite team or whatnot. You could do that, which, by the way, not only am I manager of Real Madrid and won first and lost the game, all that jazz, if only that's how real life worked, but I also am like managing Brazil, yo, which they called me up. Yo, I had 2 offers, yo. I got an offer from Sweden, and I looked at it, I was like, hell no. And then even like the game suggested, it's like you don't have to accept every offer. You could kind of wait and see if a better one comes through. And I was like, yeah, I pretty much just wanted to manage Spain, but that's pretty much all I'm waiting for. And then Brazil came knocking, and I was like, oh, say word. I was like, yo, a gente fala português muito bom. I was all up in there. I'm like, yo, let me do that. That's what I'm about. Or you just play the story mode, and it still feels very counterintuitive to me to just go and say, play the story mode in FIFA. What? And it's a continuation of last year. So if you've been through last year's, I guess a lot of these some of these characters kind of come back and whatnot. Some of the storyline kind of come back. You're not really going to miss out too much on that. There's a couple. I think there's maybe like 2 characters or something like that that I kind of could tell were in the previous game just by the way that they're talking to. But you can kind of already just by the tone of voice that's presented in there, you kind of already know what relationship they have with their character. But I guess there is some added depth if you play as last year's. And in all fairness, I enjoy this story mode so much that I was tempted to go back and play last year's. And you know what, man? Maybe I got some time, man. I might hit up the homie Fabio and be like, yo, let me cop FIFA 17 real quick, yo, and pop this thing in and just play through the story. But I have a feeling it might be a little bit, it might take me a little bit of time over here. And I don't know, that don't got the Xbox One X patch, which, by the way, I'm playing it in 4K. I can't tell much of the difference between that and the previous one, but I assume it just looks really good, because it does look really good. But it looked really good before, too. Your boy Marcos.